Okay. Hello everyone. Good day. I want to welcome you to our UI UX designing masterclass. Yes. My name is Chukwubuikem Chiabuotu. I'm a software developer at Vegis Technologies, and today I'll be taking you on a very short, brief, but necessary journey into the world of UI and UX design, primarily for software products, software applications, and other things. So let's begin. Before we continue, I want to talk about our sponsor, Vegistech. So Vegistech is an IT firm in Umahed here. We are into software development. We make products, software products for businesses, small and medium-sized businesses, and we also offer training uh, training services to students, those who are enthusiastic about learning and becoming a seasoned developer or designer or IT personnel in any field that we offer. So there are some trainings we offer. We offer at Vegistech we offer front end web development, graphic design, computer networking, back end development for both your mobile apps and even UI UX design, which fortunately for us, is what I'm going to be diving into today. I also offer courses like CCTV camera installation, which I won't say is software based, but more technical and hardware too, but it's also necessary. Okay, so diving into today's topic, uh, what is product design? What is product design? So it says a quick Google search shows that product design is the process of ideating, developing and refining products that meet specific market needs and solve user problems. That's a mouthful, but let's break it down. Let's break it down. So, by the definition above, we know that a product designer ideates. What's meant of ideates? He or she conceive ideas about a product. At this point, it doesn't necessarily have to be a software product, any product at all you are trying to embark on as a product designer, no matter what your product is, you have to bring up ideas. You have to think about ideas. You have to feel these ideas. You have to query these ideas and see how visible they are about a product. Yes. Now, the next one, a product designer develops a product. Exactly. As a product designer, you have to develop a product. You're not just going to be bringing up ideas and it ends here. No, you have to develop a product as a product designer. Next, the product designer refine this product to meet specific market. So at this stage, as a product designer, you have to keep tweaking your product. Whatever solution that you've brought out for your consumers or your users, you have to keep refining this product. Maybe if there's an error, if there's a query, users want this improvement, users want this update, you have to keep changing your application. That's why if you've used Google back in let me say 2008, 2012, if you see how the interface was, it was not the best compared to now. It was not the best. So as technologies updated themselves, and there were new things into the field of web development, so Google and many other products, even Facebook, they upgrade their designs and their products so that it can always meet the specific market conditions. Now, and most importantly, your product must solve a user problems. I believe this is very self-explanatory. If you make a product and is not able to look at the user problem and actually solve that problem for the user, then by all means you haven't created a product. You have created something that is for you alone. If I have to say, yes, if you've created a product that nobody wants to use, basically you can't push it into the market. Nobody wants to use it. You've just created something for yourself, which I won't say is bad, but then again, if your main goal was to solve a user problem, then you've not achieved it. Every other thing that you've done up to this point, you're ideating and developing a product, would have been, you know, for nothing. If I do say so, you have been for nothing, because now you cannot solve a user problem with your product. So there's no need. There's no need. So now, in software development, this product designer can be broken down into two major parts. The first one is user interface design and user experience design. Now we're going to go and break this down now. Now, in user interface design, UI design focuses on anticipating what users might need to do and ensuring that the interface has elements that are easy to access, understand, and use to facilitate those actions. Those actions. Which example? Let me give you a good example now of a user interface design. If you're in computer science, I know uh, one or two lecturers might have told you to design a, how will I put it, a Java program, in command line or something like that. Now you see that maybe they give a simple task to add um, that simple task to create in a command line, add two numbers, all those kinds of things. Now, if you see, when you convert that particular operation into a graphical user interface, a GUI, you know, the design matters. The design matters because if you don't place the right thing at the right place, let me say, okay, let's say you are designing a calculator. A calculator. You want to design a calculator. If you don't put the numbers accordingly, the user may find it difficult to access. Exactly. That's the point about user interface and design. So every element on you see on your applications, let me say a button, a like in this image here, there's a button, there is a profile image, all these things, all these things is what happens in user interface design. You design all of this. I have to place it in a certain position that the user it gives user ease of access. The user can easily access all these buttons and all these components, I'll call them components or elements on your application, and be able to reach his goal. Now, the next one I was talking about is user experience design. This aspect is much more abstract than interface. Interface we will deal with the components on the app. The user experience now have to go a little bit abstract. Now, as it says here, user experience design involves the design of the entire process of acquiring and integrating the product, including aspects of branding, design, usability, and function. Simply put like this, user experience design, it deals with how the user uses this application. Exactly. Why is the user using this application? How is he using this? How is he going to use the application? You know, every other thing that the user experiences while using your application or your software or your product. You have to take all these things into account because without with a lack of fundamental understanding of your user experience, how user is going to experience your product, you will not be able to give out the best interface. You won't be able to give out the best interface that will actually impact and your users at 100% level. Yes. So okay, let's go on. Now, I want to take you through the user interface, user experience design process. Everything that happens, from your inception of the idea of your product to actually releasing your product and getting it ready for market for your users to use. So this. There are different ways to go about designing your product, but this seems to be the major step that I follow most times. That I follow most times while creating software products. So we have the discover phase, the define phase, the ideate phase, the design phase, and the test phase. Test phase. I'll be breaking down this one after the other. So join me. Now, first of all, discover. Now, in discover phase, there are about three things you need to do. The first one is the problem statement. A problem statement. How I say the first one is problem statement. Now, we say at this stage, the product designer discovers a problem in a new or existing product and documents this initial problem. An example of this problem now would be, let's say, for instance, you have a default calculator application on your mobile devices, and one problem you've noticed that your default calculator application on your mobile devices, you can't see the previous calculations you've done. Maybe you want to cross check or correct or retrace your steps in case of errors done during the calculation. You can't see some calculator applications do, but not all. But you get the point. It's a sample. It's a sample problem. I've seen calculators that do that don't have this feature. So as a product designer now, this is your problem statement. This is something that you've noticed. You personally notice. Now, after getting your problems, now you need to suggest a solution. The solution. Now, as a product designer, you should be able to suggest one or more solutions to your initial problem, so as to help you further in the design process. As a task, now, okay, you can try to come up with a solution for the above, but I will simply put it: the solution for the above now is to create an application, another calculator app, design another calculator app that will be able to show the user's history of his calculation. He has to store it and show it in a very, very pleasing way to the user, so the user understand his processes that he has gone through, the calculation that he has gone through. That will be a sample of our solution. Very small, but you get the point. Now, the next phase in the discover process now is discover phase is a user research. Now, in your research, user research, there are ways to go about this. It can be done through quantitative analysis or qualitative analysis. They are two separate things. You can even do both of them if you would like to. Now, like I said, quantitative analysis is a research method that is measurable or statistically based. This method asks the question: how many, how much, how often. For example, how many people use the default calculator on their mobile phones? You know, this is an example of a quantitative analysis. Now, in this user research, you are expected to go out. You're able to ask people, look for people that also have this problem, even people that don't have this problem. Ask them questions so you can get feedback and know if this product that you want to build is something feasible, something that people actually want to do. Now, in this quantitative analysis, you ask questions and you segment them. You check, okay, how many people use the default calculator mobile phones. Maybe 80% do this, 20% don't. So get your statistics right. So okay, yeah, now you have a large amount of people out of maybe 10 people you've asked, eight persons use a default calculator. Okay, fine, you have a sample of people that you want this product. Okay, these eight persons, they're good to go. They are going to be my test people you're going to build this app for. Now, another question asked why in quantitative analysis now, let me say, is asking, do you experience this issue of how many times do you experience trying to check your previous calculation and it doesn't show you? Do you experience such? You say yes. You answer that question, but that will be in quantitative analysis. So let's just quickly move on. While in qualitative analysis deals with data collected from observation and ask questions such as why, how, what happened. Now, another example here I give is what happens when the user can't access his or her calculations history? Do they become frustrated? Do they feel? Do they begin to start the whole calculation process again from beginning to see that if they can correct themselves? Things like you. These are the questions you ask your users. Or you send out a survey. You ask people so they can give you feedback, and you can use this now to create a very good overview of whom your target audience are and who your users are, what are their problems. And at this point you can even get more problems that you might add to your problem statement and come up with solutions so that you bring up much more concrete product that you may not even know that these are problems that the user face also. So it's very good. So now in this user research phase, people sometimes it depends. If you're working on an existing product, this user research phase can come before your problem statement. Yes. Maybe you already have a product that is running and people are complaining. Now you go back. If one person complains, you check your users, ask your users in your existing application now. Okay, do you experience this? Do you experience that? Do you experience this? Do you experience that? Now, when you get back this your analysis from your users, we know the kind of problems you have. We know where what kind of problems you have. We know what how to come about a solution and how to go about the meeting. So this user research can come before the problem statement. If there is in most cases if it's for an existing application. Yes. So the next phase is the define phase. The define phase. Now in this particular phase, what they're going to major thing you're going to be doing is to pinpoint your how will I put it? Is to put your focus on the application. Now, as the first thing to do, one of the steps to do taken in this define phase is to create a user persona. A user persona. It says your user persona is a fictional character which represents your target users. Now, after doing your user research, it helps some UI UX developers ignore this part, but sometimes it helps if you create a fictional character. Like example here is Drew, who is an influencer. You give they have his age, where he's working, the very attendance, and some characteristics about this person. So if you're creating this calculator now, you create a user persona, maybe a student named John who does this. He uses his calculator, this, and just get some a fictional sense about this person and how they use the normal calculator application. Just something short. It doesn't have to be elaborate, but something that enables you understand your target audience. So you can just create a fictional user persona. Now let's move on. Now, after creating a user persona, it helps to create an empathy map. An empathy map. Now, an empathy map visualize visualizing user attitudes and behaviors in an empathy map helps user experience team align on a deep understanding of end users. The mapping process also reviews any holes in existing user data. Now, this empathy map helps you characterize what your user say, what they think, what they do, and how they feel. Like in the image here, I think it's an empathy map of somebody who wants to buy a TV, and as an example here, an empathy map of someone buying a TV, and you see the what does this person say? Jamie say, he says, "I was expecting something different. What do you think? Where should I start? What brand do you like? What size is the best?" This is what he says. Now, what do you think? Do they think I'm stupid? What is the best for me? Too many acronyms. Why is it so hard? So when you have an empathy map, you know what your users are saying, you know what how they think, you know what they do, you know what they feel. It helps you understand your end users and actually enables you release a product that is very concrete, very very straightforward, and able to solve their problems as it is. So after getting your user persona, I do want to talk about how to create an empathy map. You know what an empathy map is. How do I do it in the context of calculator? It wouldn't be possible. It won't be much. But I do hope that you understand exactly what is going on here. Okay. So moving on, we'll go on into another process. Now, another phase is the ideate phase. Ideate. Now, in this phase, is only majorly is only one thing that you need to do, which is at most times creating your user flow. Creating your user flow. So, user flow is a visual representation of how the user moves through a website or application and shows what's happening at each step along the way. These steps are called user flows because they reflect the path the user takes while navigating a website or app. Okay, now you have your research, you've got your user persona, you understand the pain, the points, the points, the pain points of your users, what they need and how they don't need, how they react, how they act, what they say, do, feel. Now, you want to start creating a product. What do you expect? How do you expect the user to use this your product? You that's where the user flow comes in. How do you expect the user to use your product? An example here, it says you open the application, it can be start, open application, any other thing. You move on, view app, start view app, or you start the page, or you go to the start page. Now, user has an account. If yes, he enters a password, forgot password. But in the context of a calculator, let's say in our initial problem, which was a calculator which I gave, user opens the app, it does some calculation, it opens the apps, calculates. Now, after calculating, it stores it, but that will be behind the scenes. But you get the idea. User flow enables you to see how the user move, how you want the user to move through your application. Now, in designing this user flow, you can come up with new features. Most times in an application, I've done user flows, and along the way, it enabled me to come up with new features that I did not know that the user might need. So that is one of the good things about designing a user flow before your next because you may not know this you may not notice it, but this user flow help you also identify features that may be needed in your app that you might have missed while even in doing your user research and other things. So moving on, we go into the design phase. Go to design phase. Now, I think these are the parts I will consider user interface. Everything we're talking up to this point, I will consider them the user experience, you know, aspect of it. But most times they work hand in hand, they work together. But everything up to this point now I consider them the UX user experience design phase. Why here now? This designing phase now is majorly on the interface side. So the first thing I have is a low fidelity wireframe. So a low fidelity wireframes are basic wireframes that outline blueprints for web pages or app screens that help you communicate your product's big idea rather than the specific details. That's what higher fidelity wireframes for. More on that later. But these low fidelity wireframes are, to put it in very simple English, take it as a sketch. You want to design a website, how would the website look? Like an example here, I think this is a landing page. It has a logo, a product screen, and even a hero section. So what you do in a low fidelity fiber is basically to sketch. I'll call it sketching. Yes. So once you sketch here, the purpose of having a low fidelity wireframe design. Now this design phase, having a low fidelity wireframe is so that you can outline, you can have a blueprint, you have a pattern you want to follow. What I want to follow without thinking about the details, what kind of text is going to be here, what kind of image is going to be here. You just have a blueprint, and you can draw out your pattern, how you want your application or web page to look like, and this helps you also scrub away some you can do your corrections here instead of going to the high fidelity where you add a lot of information and details now to your design. You start making correction which sometimes may be tedious. You do it here and you have your pattern and you move it to high fidelity and improve on those things. Now moving on to our high fidelity wireframe. Now high fidelity design closely matches the final result of a product design. Content, visual styles, and animated transition all work together to make a high fidelity asset look and work as close as the final product possible. Now, per se, this in most cases, what I do, I won't say I'm a very lazy person, but as a software developer, I already know at this point I already know what I want to do. So I may not I consider high fidelity wireframe to be the final point of my my design, but there are still other things you need to do. But for me, I consider this to be the final point of my design. Once I get this high fidelity wireframe, I immediately set on and start building, because every other micro things I already have an idea what I want to do. But basically, this high fidelity wireframe now is where you improve on your sketch. You take those sketches and add your images, add your colors, add your designs, add your text, the little information that you want to put into your application. Now you put it there. So now this image example here is an example of a high fidelity wireframe where it resembles a product. This product is not real. This is a design, but after doing the design, everything looks like a working product. Very close to the finished or the finished product or the developed application. Now, moving on to our final phase, which is the test phase. Like I said, I as a developer, most time my high fidelity is where I do end my UI UX design process. But we'll talk about this test phase. Now, this test phase is where if I do it sometimes, I do my prototyping. I do prototyping. Now, a prototype is a simple model or a mock-up of a concept, idea, product, or service. It is used to test or validate design assumptions that were made to construct the prototype quickly and in a less expensive way than developing a full-fledged product or service. In simple terms, prototyping your high-fidelity wireframe is something that once you prototype it, you connect your apps together. Okay, the user logs in, the user sees the login screen. Okay, when he clicks on this button in my high fidelity wireframe, okay, let him take let it take the user to this page, maybe the login page he wants to type username and all those things. So you link all your designs together. You prototype it. Now you ship now this prototype version that you've done on your design. You can ship it out to users so that they can test it, they can look through it and actually click buttons. But you've not created a software. You can send this design to people and they can interact with your design as if is an application or already working system. And this helps you get feedback instead of building a product and people are giving you errors. As a designer, you have to make the process a little bit easier for your developer team. So you have a prototype, you send that to your users, they test it, and they give you their corrections or what they feel like is right. And if it's necessary and there is no much errors, you might decide not to change. Then you move your the finished design to your developer team. Now, I think this should be the last phase. There's nothing else again. So at this stage, I've explained everything you need to know about the UI UX. What is it, and how the process you go into designing a software product or any kind of product, any kind of product. But majorly, this is for software design. So I have some materials that for you to gain more understanding or have a visual representation of exactly what I'm talking about. I have a link here to a case study, a product, a design, a prototype, you know, an app called PayWise. It's not yet, it's not a fully fledged developed software. It's more like a design. So I have a link. I will share this link for you so you can check it out and actually go through the material and see for yourself how they went through their problem statements, their user how they do their user empathy map. So once you see this, you go through all these things and then you get a sense of what I've been talking about since. So at this point, if you have any questions, you can drop it on the group. I'm sorry I couldn't make this class, a live session due to some, you know, um, technical issues I'm having with my microphone and my system. So I feel like at this point is very very okay. I want to give credit to most of the images I used to design this presentation is from FreePic, Miro here. So I do want to give special thanks to our sponsor of this masterclass, Veggies Tech. They're offering a promo for those who are going on their Cybers program. The first 10 people to register at the office on Wednesday to Friday will have a slash. They will give you a discount. Yes, so do ensure you reach out to us, to them, us too, and try about to come so we can train you. We can work together so that we can become better IT personnel. Now, this is the first part of this class. We have talked about the user experience process. So the next by tomorrow, we'll be taking a little bit of a practical aspect. Yes, going on a practical aspect. We'll take we'll design something. I'll show you tools that you use to design your I use those I use to design my low fidelity wireframe, and I also have to do one or two other things, one or two examples to design an application for you, so you get a sense of what the UI aspect actually looks like. Yes. So once again, my name is Chukwubuikem Chiabuotu. I'm a software developer at Veggies Technologies. I have a link to my portfolio and my email and my phone numbers here. So I want to say thank you for attending this class, and I wish you all the best.